The galaxy never saw us as equals. To them, humanity was weak, physically frail, technologically behind, unworthy of a seat at the grand table of interstellar politics. The great empires barely acknowledged us, dismissing Earth as an irrelevant backwater. Our ships were slower, our weapons outdated, and our presence in the galactic community nothing more than a footnote. When they spoke of power, of dominion over the stars, they never included us in the conversation. But then, the enemy came. A force unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. A species so advanced, so merciless, that the mightiest empires crumbled before them. The Xelari, an ancient race of conquerors thought long extinct, returned from the void with a vengeance. Their warships cut through entire fleets like a scythe through wheat. Their soldiers were unrelenting, their technology centuries beyond anything the galaxy had encountered. One by one, the proud empires fell, planets burned, civilizations erased, and once great warlords reduced to nothing more than desperate fugitives. At first, the ruling species of the galaxy did what they always did. They ignored us. Even as they lost battle after battle, even as their homeworlds trembled under the shadow of Xelari dreadnoughts, they refused to acknowledge humanity as anything more than an afterthought. To them, we were not warriors. We were not saviors. We were insignificant. But insignificance meant we were overlooked. And being overlooked meant we had time. Time to watch. To learn. To prepare. The distress calls began flooding in from every corner of the galaxy. Empires that once mocked us now found themselves on the brink of annihilation. Their fleets, once thought invincible, lay shattered across the void. Their leaders, so accustomed to dominance, now begged for salvation. And with nowhere else to turn, they turned to the one species they had never considered worthy: humanity. At first, they came not in alliance, but in desperation. They did not ask for our help. They demanded it. They threw what little remained of their pride at our feet, expecting us to bow, to serve, to be the last resort they could exploit before the end. They assumed we had nothing of value, no technology to match their own, no soldiers capable of facing the horrors of a Xelari. They believed that if humanity were to fight, we would only serve as cannon fodder. They were wrong. For while they had always measured strength in fleets and firepower, they had failed to understand what true strength was. The strength to endure, to adapt, to fight a war not with brute force, but with ingenuity, with strategy, with the sheer will to survive. And as the galaxy teetered on the edge of destruction, humanity did what it had always done best. We stood up. We fought back. And for the first time, the galaxy would learn what it truly meant to underestimate us. The Xelari adapted, but so did we. Every countermeasure they deployed, we twisted against them. Every strategy they refined, we broke apart. They had superior technology, but we had something they couldn't replicate: improvisation. They relied on raw power, overwhelming numbers, and predictable efficiency. We thrived in chaos, turning desperation into an advantage. The tide began to shift. Skirmishes that once ended in disaster for the galaxy's defenders now turned into victories. Human-led fleets struck at supply lines with surgical precision, cutting off the Xelari's resources. Guerrilla tactics in space, something no empire had ever even considered, began to cripple their war machine. Our engineers, given access to alien technology, found ways to weaponize it in ways its own creators never envisioned. We weren't just fighting back. We were winning. And the galaxy took notice. The same species that had once dismissed us as weak now followed our lead. Alien commanders, once too proud to take orders from humans, now deferred to our strategy. Their ships, designed for ceremonial war, were modified under human instruction, faster, deadlier, built for survival, not just intimidation. Their soldiers, once reliant on rigid discipline, learned from human ingenuity. What was once a war of attrition became a battle of adaptation. The Xelari, for the first time in their existence, found themselves on the defensive. They had never lost before. They didn't know how to. Their conquests had always been absolute, their dominance unquestioned. But now, humanity had forced them into an unfamiliar position, uncertainty. And uncertainty led to fear. Their once unbreakable formation started to crack. Their leaders, unable to predict or control the chaos we unleashed, made mistakes. Small, at first, hesitations, miscalculations. Then, as the losses mounted, desperation took hold. They pulled back from the outer systems they had conquered, retreating to consolidate their forces. What had once been an unstoppable war machine was now bleeding, scrambling for control against an enemy that refused to play by the rules. We gave them no time to recover. Human-led fleets pressed the advantage, pushing deep into Xelari-controlled space. Sabotage teams infiltrated their command centers, disrupting coordination. Weapons they had once used to terrorize the galaxy were turned against them. Every mistake they made, we exploited. Every hesitation we punished. And then came the final blow. A decisive battle. One where humanity didn't just fight alongside the galactic empires but led them. The trap was laid, the pieces set, and when the moment came, the Xelari fell straight into it. Their greatest fleet, their last chance at reclaiming momentum, was obliterated. Their war machine, once thought invincible, was shattered. For the first time in recorded history, the Xelari surrendered. The war was over. And the galaxy would never see humanity the same way again.